This is the story of how a boy lured his family into a trap in an attempt to kill them all and take their inheritance. Thomas Bartlett Whitaker, commonly known as Bart, was born on December 31, 1979, and had a very privileged background. His family were very wealthy and showered him with presents. However, that did not stop him from getting into trouble. Bart attended Clements High School, where in 1997, as a 17-year-old, he received a criminal conviction for a series of 7 burglaries that he had meticulously planned. However, he was not in need of money, as his parents had bought him several luxury vehicles, funded his academic pursuits, and purchased a lakeside townhouse in Willis, Texas, for his use. Bart had dropped out of college but had not told his parents, and he continued the lie up until his graduation. Bart told his parents he had completed his final exam, and as a gift, his parents bought him a $4,000 Rolex watch as a college graduation present. Hours later, he would try to murder his entire family. To celebrate Bart finishing his exams, his parents decided to take him for dinner after giving him the luxury watch. They drove to the nearby Pappadeaux restaurant in Stafford for a celebratory dinner. By this time, he had already planned on killing his entire family. He recruited 2 friends, Chris Brashhair and Steve Champagne, to carry out the murders. He promised them a share of his family's wealth and gave them detailed instructions on how to break into the house and kill his family. Chris, dressed in black, covering his face in a ski mask, entered the Whitaker family home, took Bart's brother's gun and ammunition from a locked box in his room, staged a burglary, and then waited near the front door for the Whitaker family to return home. Upon returning home, but before entering the house, Bart said that he needed to collect his cell phone from his parked car, knowing that Chris was armed and waiting inside to kill his family. Bart's brother entered the family home first and reportedly smiled when he saw the masked Chris. Chris shot him once through his chest, and he fell to the floor. Bart's mom was then shot in the chest, also falling to the floor. Bart's father rushed in and was shot in the shoulder, with the bullet shattering his humerus. Bart then ran inside and staged a struggle with Chris, getting shot in his left arm to divert suspicion. Chris then exited through the Whitaker's back door and jumped over the fence into the rear neighbor's yard. Bart's brother Kevin died within minutes of being shot. His mother Patricia died shortly after being airlifted, but Bart's father Kent survived. Police arrived and Bart told them that he thought the gunman was black in order to divert suspicion away from Chris. However, when investigators unraveled the web of deception, a chilling picture of Bart's greed and malevolence emerged. It was revealed that the attack was not a senseless act of violence, but a calculated attempt to eliminate his family and inherit the estate. Bart had forged documents to make it appear as if his father had forgiven him for past misdeeds, thereby granting him access to the family's wealth. The cold-hearted scheme displayed a level of deception and betrayal that left those who knew him stunned and disbelieving. Bart left for Mexico in June 2004, using $3,000 to persuade an acquaintance to assist him. He used the name Rudy Rios, found work in a furniture shop in Chiralvo, Mexico, developed a relationship with a woman, and concocted a story of service in Afghanistan to explain his gunshot wound. He lived there under the false name for over a year. On September 15, 2005, a capital murder warrant was issued against Bart. The acquaintance who had assisted Bart to flee became aware of reward money that had been offered for his arrest and communicated Bart's whereabouts to the police. Cooperating with U.S. authorities, Mexican authorities arrested Bart without incident under immigration charges. In September 2005, Bart was handed over to U.S. authorities at the border town of Laredo, Texas, where he was arrested for capital murder. The prosecution's motive theory centered around financial gain, with evidence suggesting that Whitaker stood to inherit approximately $1.5 million following the deaths of his parents and brother. Additionally, it was alleged that he was seeking to profit from a $1 million life insurance payout. As early as 2007, Kent Whitaker had already forgiven his son and his accomplices for their roles in the murders. Chris Brashhair was sentenced to life imprisonment with the chance of parole after 30 years as a part of a plea bargain worked out with prosecutors for his involvement in the murders. Meanwhile, Stephen Champagne received a 15-year sentence after serving as the primary witness for the prosecution. Despite Kent trying his hardest to sway the jury out of giving his son the death penalty, Bart was finally sentenced to death. With only 30 minutes remaining before his scheduled execution by lethal injection, Thomas Bart Whitaker's life was spared in 2018 after Texas Governor Greg Abbott commuted his sentence from death to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole. This decision came after a unanimous vote for commutation by the Texas Board of Pardons and Paroles. Bart's father, who survived the attack on his life, has been a vocal opponent of his son's execution. He firmly believes that he would be victimized once more if the state were to put to death his last remaining immediate family member. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Also, let me know what story you want to see next.